Hi everyone, I am Ludovic Bacco, Head of HR for Group IT. And today I wanted to talk to you about the newly introduced performance touchpoint. The fact is that the permanently increasing speed of change forces companies to adapt in a pace that requires really different ways of working. The challenge for Volvo and for us in Group IT is to become an agile organization. This means more speed, more transparency, more empowerment, and more flexibility. In Volvo Group HR strategy, the performance from within key area address our ambition to empower all employees in their development and accomplishment. For that to happen, we have decided to transform our traditional ways of working with performance management, what we in the past were calling the PBP, and to promote a new approach aiming for more frequent, continuous feedback and a focus on our personal development. The performance touchpoint will support our journey to become an agile organization, able to meet the business challenges of our industry. And the good news is that this will not only make our company grow, we will all grow as individuals as well. So please take the opportunity to try it soon. You are in the driver's seat, so let's get going. Let's now listen to Jonas Olsson, Performance Director for Group IT, about the performance touchpoint approach. Up to you, Jonas.
Thank you, Ludovic, for that introduction to Performance Touchpoint. Why do we then need a new performance approach in the Volvo Group? Well, to start off with, we need a new performance approach to achieve the wanted level of engagement and performance levels in our business. Volvo Group is and has been a very successful organization, but what took us here will not keep us here. We constantly have to strive towards increasing the performance and the engagement throughout the organization. We also need a new performance approach to build a more agile and dynamic way of working, to work with distributed teams, to be able to change and respond to business environment changes and context changes around us. We also wish to increase the frequency and the quality of the dialogue within the organization to ensure that performance is something that we work with every single day in our day-to-day operations. Volvo Group is very much founded upon a performance culture, and to break that down, what does this actually mean to us? Well, one aspect is clear leadership and entrepreneurship. A leadership that sets a clear direction and an entrepreneurship that allows us to be agile and dynamic in how we reach that direction. It's important for us that those that are closest to our business and to our customers, that they are empowered to make the right decision. We also believe that we can work with simplicity, that we can improve speed in both our decision making, but also in how we execute those decisions taken. We also strongly believe that a mindset for continuous improvement equals a growth mindset, meaning that we are not born with a certain set of competences and skills, but we can constantly evolve and challenge ourselves by learning, exploring, and experimenting. So, we are evolving from very much a yearly process steered and governed by the PBP tool, very much a one way for all, a top-down approach where visions, goals, plans, etc. is broken down to individual objectives. We are moving from a more backward-oriented approach where we evaluated what has happened, and perhaps also from a situation where feedback was restricted to once or twice per year in the mid-year and end-of-year reviews. We're moving towards a flexible process where we are allowed to set both individual and team priorities, where the focus is on strengths and not what has happened, where the focus is future. What can we improve in order to really take our performance to the next level? We are also moving to a process where feedback is allowed and appreciated in all directions, lateral, up and down in the organization. And that this feedback and insight process should be a continuous one, something that we can work with in various aspects every single day. And it's also important that even if we are now introducing a new tool to support you in working with Performance Touchpoint, the main focus is the quality, frequent dialogues and not to fulfill the aspects of the tool. We have 3 guiding principles in the Performance Touchpoint approach. Let me briefly take you through them. The first one is trust. We trust our employees to do our best and want the best for the group. We trust each other to give and receive feedback for changed and improved performance. We see feedback as a gift. And I trust my colleagues to want my best, to support my growth and to support my contribution to the growth of the team and to the organization as a whole. The second principle is that we have a will to grow. We, all of us employees of Volvo Group, have a will to develop and learn continuously. We have a growth mindset and we help each other to grow. We support each other in this learning journey. And the third principle, a clear direction. The business direction is clear and known to all of us. Our leadership has communicated a vision that is compelling, and we all know how we contribute to reach the objectives that has been set out. How does then a quality touchpoint dialogue look? Well, the idea of touchpoints is that they can be formal or informal, they can be in-person or virtual, they can be longer or shorter as needed. And we have touchpoints to identify progress and roadblocks, to create a shift in direction thinking, to make course corrections, both on executing our deliveries but also in behavior, as needed to support performance growth. And these touchpoints can be regular, scheduled interactions or needed at any time. Sometime when a breakthrough is needed, for example, or extra focus or support is required. And it helps us to bring all of us into alignment towards the directions and towards the long-term goals. The recommendation is that we schedule touchpoints regularly, perhaps on a bi-weekly basis, and that we also work with our development touchpoints regularly as well. There are 3 main focus areas of performance touchpoints. Those are priorities, insights, and development. And my colleagues in the next chapter of this small broadcast will speak more about the details of these 3 aspects. It is important to keep in mind that when we have our performance dialogue, we not only discuss the what, how is also extremely important. How has the job been performed? Has the delivery been done in accordance to the Volvo Group values? Customer success, passion, change, trust, and performance. And with that, let's go into a more detailed session about priorities, insights, and development.
Let me talk about mindset to begin with. Mindset can be of 2 types. One that accepts problems as opportunities to learn, and the other that avoids them out of fear to fail. People that avoid conflicts have a fixed mindset, and those who accept problems as interesting challenges have a growth mindset. To illustrate the difference in everyday work life, let us look at 2 imaginary colleagues, Donald and Daisy. Donald thinks qualities like intelligence and talent are fixed traits. Daisy believes these abilities can be developed through practice. At workplace, Donald avoids challenges. He is afraid to take up difficult tasks. Daisy accepts any challenges and it excites her. Donald avoids feedback and takes it personally. Daisy takes constructive criticism and she knows that it's not her that is being assessed, but the results of her work that one day. People with fixed mindset limit their growth. Volvo looks for employees with growth mindset. It's not because they solve problems, it's because despite obstacles, they keep going on. A simple switch in how we view a situation can mean a world of difference. To develop a growth mindset, let's celebrate trying. As the late poet Samuel Beckett said, "Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail better."
What about priorities within this big change of performance touchpoint? What will remain first? The need to have a clear direction. We still have the principle of the strategic objective breakdown. People need to know where they have to go and how they will contribute to the overall picture. What will we reinforce also in this approach? The focus not only on the what we are expecting to do, but also the how we achieve things. The results are important, but also the progress journey. What will change? First, the rhythm. We will have more flexibility. The process won't force us to keep a regular annual rhythm here. We will be able to adapt our priorities to the business need and also to its calendar. We will be more and more order about the prioritization of our work. Closest to the business, we will be able to focus on the actual added value for this. And finally, the mindset. We will no more be in a tracking mode. The purpose of priorities setting is just to make things happen. By sharing your agenda, being able to adapt it, challenge or being challenged fairly by your peers, support and trust each other. We want by that to have a company of enabler people.
Underperformance by one individual can affect the entire team and eventually the organization and its culture. No point in being the nice manager who's always bringing only good news. If it is not addressed in a timely fashion, soon we will hear from another team member as to why is it that somebody else is getting away with underperformance. Now, will that make us look like a good manager? Obviously not. Continuous insights and regular connects with the team members is the key to success. Don't beat around the bush. It's only fair to the employees that we talk to the point and give concrete examples. However, I would like to avoid judgmental and strong words like crappy work, shoddy presentation, etc. After all, the aim is to have a win-win situation. Giving feedback is fine, but are we game to receiving feedback? How to receive constructive feedback? We all have this giant 3-letter word called ego. What can I do to protect that? Receiving feedback and acting upon it goes a long way in our personal growth and development. The more open we are to feedback, the better we perform. Here are some tips on receiving feedback graciously. Be a good listener. Do not defend. Ask for more examples. Be aware of your body language. Eye contact, nodding, listening intently, these are all factors that show that you are humble and willing to give serious consideration to other people's suggestions. Speak up if you need support. We're all here to support each other. Keep emotions aside. Feedback process is not meant to hurt, get back at someone, or to make you feel low about yourself. Getting angry, sad, or showing indifference will only hinder the productive process of understanding the gaps. Finally, thank the feedback provider. Ask for a follow-up after a certain interval. If you haven't set up the performance checkpoint meetings with your manager yet, now is the time to do it.
Hi, we talk about my development. My development is in my hands. I should take the ownership. Only my manager can support me during this journey. When we talk about a development path or a development journey, a couple of things you need to keep it in mind. You need to have your own aspiration, your dreams, your priorities, short-term, long-term. Same time, you should also know your skills and competencies, what you have today, and what is organization looking forward from you to achieve these priorities. That helps you to set a proper development path. Each one of us have different ways of learning. But so I'm not going to say what's the best way of doing. You can choose what's best for us. But I have only a couple of questions for each one of us to reflect before we set a development path. Have you set a proper priorities in your life? Whether it could be personal or it could be professional. Have you ever done an analysis of your own skills and competencies? Where do you stand today to achieve your ambitions? If you have done that one, have you identified the gap where you stand today and to reach where you are? And if you identified the gaps, how are you going to bridge the gap? Right. So just turn back and see the last 6 months, what did you learn? How did you learn? And whatever you learned, where did you apply it? And what difference does it make? If you can just reflect on all these questions which I was referring right now, will help you to set a proper development path for you. It's only come through practice. So practice, practice, practice. That's what I would say if you want to develop something. Right? I hope these tips will really help you to put a right development path for you. Thank you.
I see a lot of benefits with the new performance touchpoint approach. I think that one positive part of it is that it's forward oriented instead of talking about the history like we did in the old PBPs. Another thing that is really encouraging me is that it's driven from ourselves, from me as an individual. I take the ownership of my own growth. The third thing is that I see that how I can contribute to the target image and the wanted state by using the performance touchpoint as a catalyst for the direction that is given in the target images.
With my team, we have been early adopters of the touchpoint approach. My team first is a bit unique in the sense that we have a virtual management model. I'm based in France and all the team is in India. And of course, we don't meet on a daily basis in the lobby due to that. So it's important to have a series of one-on-one discussion to stay well connected. And we had that kind of meetings already in the past on a case-by-case approach. Thanks to this new approach, now it has become systematic and periodic. So for these reasons, the change has been fairly natural. We even didn't realize that it was a big change. And it has been quite beneficial. So as I said, now we have these systematic meetings that gives me the opportunity to know what everybody is doing and individual contributions to our different objectives. It gives also the team members the opportunity to share achievements, to share information and concerns, and then I can coach and provide advice to them so that they can improve and continue performing. It's also a much more agile approach compared to the old PBP approach. We know that our context is evolving quite a lot and we need to adjust, and objectives are evolving consequently. So thanks to this, we can decide to modify the priorities on a monthly basis. So we are, however, still at an early stage of using Touchpoint and the approach and the tools. We have not explored all the possibilities like the team priorities, but definitely we'll continue and step by step introduce this concept. So far it has been a very good move to use this tool and approach and very easily accepted and adopted by the whole team, and it has been beneficial.
When I heard about Performance Touchpoint for the first time, there were many unanswered questions in my mind. Why this change now? When we have PBP, which is very well defined, will it have any impact? What's in it for me as well as for my team? Who will handle what? Should we document? When should we start? I was all more confused and uncertain with all these questions in my mind. Then the stage was set, where I had my questions answered through various sessions conducted at the site by the HR team and from the discussions I had with my manager, which helped me to understand it better. I see the way forward is more of mindset change, where we need to unlearn and then relearn, which is not going to be easy. Determined to do it, though, as I started to see the benefits for myself. I have started to explore the tool. It is dynamic and gives us the flexibility to see the progress on our short and long-term priorities. We do have some new techniques like OKR in place of SMART, wherein we define our priorities, set our targets and plan on to achieve them. All I wanted to say is learn about the process. It's time to adapt the change, plan your priorities and finally explore, experience and redefine.
I'm very excited about the performance touchpoints and I hope you also see the opportunities. I really encourage you to explore more also as a team. The tool is very dynamic and you can align goals to yourself and your colleagues. There's a lot of supporting material and trainings and local HR will support you on this journey as well.